Hello and welcome to On Location. I'm Arthur Schink. In with me, Mark Hackle, Rick Stathakis. Gentlemen, we're here at KUKA Robotics in Shelby Township, just after Shelby Township's Business Awards.
Yes.
Big deal here.
Speaking of business, man.
You know what? He's eating all the cookies. I'm going to have to take one of these if you don't mind.
Oh, I see. You went to the bottom.
That's right. I only want a half of one because
These
I
are
got this
from
little
Bake
thing
My
going
Day.
here
I'm going
on
to tell
my
you, somebody
diet,
baked
so-
my day. These are good. You're not going to eat one, are you, Art?
Not yet.
Look at Art. He's
Well,
so
here we
he's going to have a little
As,
crumb.
as I eat this, Mark, you got a chance to talk to some people over at the
Oh, my
green,
God. That's awesome.
the green carpet here.
Yeah. I got green fingers
Let's
now.
go to some of the interviews. Mark had to talk to some of the dignitaries here at KUKA for the Shelby Township Business Awards.
We're not very dignitary, are we?
It's the Business Awards for Shelby Township, and we're pretty excited. We call this the green carpet here. Green carpet, why do we call it the green carpet instead of the red carpet? Green is the color of money, and we got a lot of businesses here in Shelby Township and across Macomb County that are really helping contribute to the investment and the resurgence of Macomb County. A lot of good things happening here, but you know, kind of from a public safety perspective, we're very fortunate, my background in law enforcement, to have somebody with us here today. Jim, from the fire department, the chief, he's the guy that really understands what's going on from that perspective. How does this play into, you know, I guess if you will, public safety? What do you see as kind of connecting point, if you will, with the investment, the resurgence, the things that are happening from the business side, and how does that play out with I guess, protecting people and fire safety?
Well, the biggest thing that's going on is we're very proactive here with our fire inspectors, with our community protection and things like that. So we work hand in hand with the businesses from the time they come in, developing to make sure before they start constructing and building that everything's in place. So we work very closely with the developers and the occupants to make sure everything that's required by the code is done in the beginning instead of at the end after they take occupancy of the building. And with the continued growth, especially with our industry, manufacturing, and our retail that's been going on in the township, a bit of good news is we recently just received our new fire protection class rating from the ISO. And we dropped from a class 5 to a class 3, which is a 2-class improvement, which will really benefit the larger buildings like KUKA and other manufacturing. They have these big businesses that have for their insurances.
And doesn't it also play into the insurances of the local homeowners as well?
Yeah, it does. And you know, the underwriters for all the various insurance agencies use your protection class rating for the township in the underwriting for the insurances. And the residents will get a little bit of a break, but as you drop below a class 5 and you start improving, residents get a little bit of a break, but the businesses, you know, like this, they will get a larger break in the insurance premiums as they do, because a lot of these have their own rating and they work directly with the ISO.
So the work that you guys are doing, obviously ahead of time, just kind of preventative maintenance, if you will, making sure all the codes and all the rules are followed as they're putting these facilities in place, help make sure that there aren't going to be those incidents or issues when it comes to fire issues or some things that might be problematic that might cause concern for an insurance company. So obviously public safety is key, number one,
Yes.
making sure nobody gets hurt. But the secondary, I guess, benefit or bonus is keeping our costs low.
Yeah, that's the idea. That's what we do.
Great job. Hi, now we're with Robert Salai, the actual chief of police over here in Shelby Township. We talked to the fire chief, but you know, sometimes people don't realize there is a connection when it comes to public safety and the business side. So, Chief, I can imagine when you look at some of these big companies that are coming into your backyard and some of the ones that have already been here or are here, there's a direct connection or correlation to what you do, and how do you keep people safe that are working in these facilities?
Yes, well, we have to start with strategic planning, figure out how many people are going to be in the facilities, and then basically go from there. The first thing I'm worried about is the traffic, getting people to and from their jobs safely every day. Obviously, we have a very large commute every morning, people leaving town and coming in for work and everything. So we've established a traffic unit, morning traffic unit to handle the morning commute. Now with Amazon coming in right now, one of the big things we're working on is establishing a afternoon traffic unit where officers are specifically dedicated to making sure traffic is flowing properly and handling the accidents and stuff and making sure our roads are safe.
So when we talk about obviously going into facilities like, you know, we're talking about KUKA for an example, or the new Amazon that's coming, you got to be prepared. You got to have yourself ready for those type of incidents if there was something to happen. It deals with workplace violence. We don't like talking about it. People kind of get, you know, they don't like to hear it. You know, we think it just happens elsewhere, but you need to be prepared, because if it does happen here, we can't just say, geez, we thought that happened in other towns, if and when it comes our way.
Correct. Preparedness is one of our 4 pillars of excellence. Obviously, we put heavy weight into preparedness. All our training staff is trained in, they're ALICE certified for active assailant, and we've started going around and training people in the township. So the first thing we did is train all the township employees last week in active assailant response. It went over wonderfully. The supervisor told me it was the best training they've ever had since he's been a supervisor for 10 years. He said he wants to do it annually. Next thing we're going to be doing next is moving into doing the churches and the houses of worship. After we're done with those, we're going to do the restaurants, the bars, anybody with large groups. I know last night Troy had a large public facility that had 1,500 people show up.
I saw that,
Yeah, I thought that was fantastic.
Great turnout.
Something for us to consider, obviously, instead of going around doing different groups, maybe do everybody at once, but I'll talk about that with my staff. But the bottom line is, like you said, is being prepared, and my staff is prepared.
Here with a good friend of mine, actually, a gentleman who's a general manager, but I got to tell you, he's just a guy who's just a general good guy. And Joe McCluskey, he's with us walking the green carpet. Tell us what's happening. You got something exciting that's going on right down the road from KUKA.
Yes,
here.
we do. We're very excited to be part of Shelby Township in Macomb County. We have 680 people in Group 1 Ethylene plant right now. We just got done manufacturing, getting up and running. We supply for the new Ram pickup truck, the interior system with the door panels and headliners. And it's just amazing how quick, not only we grow within the community, but how quick we're able to get this operation up and running in 8 months, which is almost unheard of. So
and you were the guy that made this happen. I'm telling you, you came. Well, I remember you come to me and saying, "Hey, I got this idea. I'm looking at this monstrous plant that I want to put somewhere in your hometown backyard."
My hometown I grew up in. Very proud of that.
I want to bring this here to Macomb County, in particular Shelby Township, and working with the people from the planning of obviously Shelby Township, Macomb County. This thing came together in such a short fashion. Gene DiAgostini, one of the guys that actually, the developer of the site, working closely with you, made this a reality in a very short period of time.
Well, and as you always state, Mark, make Macomb your home. And it takes a group of all the individuals you just mentioned to make that successful and to make it happen. And that was a lot of a big reason why not only I want to come back to my hometown, but making sure that we knew the ties to make it successful, because it was quite an undertaking. So it's not just me, it's all of us as a group that we should be very proud of our endeavor of what happened over there.
And we're going to have a grand opening pretty soon, are we not?
Yes, we are. We're excited.
Kind of ribbon cutting?
Yeah, we're going to have a ribbon cut, and you're going to have to help me with the big scissors. So.
And we're going to bring that right to your front room. We're actually going to do this, and I know ShelbyTV is going to cover this as well. So stay tuned. Now I have with me Dr. Christine Johns from Utica Community Schools, doing a great job with the educational system, in spite of the fact that funding is always a concern. But you know what? You got some exciting things happening, and I guess if you want to talk about a topical thing or whatever, it's interesting what's happening with the Utica dance team, with the Utica Eisenhower dance team. What's going on?
Our dance team is national champions. They have been invited to participate in a number of activities. The rest of the world is just finding out what we already know, that they are fantastic and they are exceptional talent, and we congratulate our Eisenhower dance team.
And they have been for a while.
They have been for some time, and like I said, we already knew that, but now the nation knows that.
And you know what? I think it's sometimes, I was a wrestler back in high school. We didn't get a lot of love, a lot of attention, and I got to believe that sometimes these dancers don't, when they perform at halftime or whatever, but that group, I've noticed, all eyes are there. People do not go to the concession stands when that group is out on the floor doing a dance routine, because they're that exceptional.
That is correct, and I would also say my understanding is this is the first time a high school team has been invited at this level to participate in some of those competitions. So I'm proud of them. I'm excited for them. Go ladies.
And where they're headed, I got to understand, it's almost like going to an Olympics.
This
isn't
correct.
Just like going to another nationals. They've already won that. They're representing, almost like they're representing the United States in the Olympics.
That is correct. And usually that's college teams. But this is Eisenhower High School right here in Utica Community Schools in Macomb County, Michigan.
When you talk about fine dining and the hospitality winners this year, Dominic and Kim with their facility, Da Francescos. I'm telling you, if you haven't been there, you got to go there. It is one of the finest Italian restaurants than anywhere else, not in just Michigan, probably in the country. Incredible facility. The ambiance of this facility is fantastic. But let's face it, you can't beat the food, man. The food is just wonderful. Thanks for being here. Congratulations for actually winning this award.
Thank you, Mark. We're so excited to be part of the community and get this award. It means a lot to us. And we worked really hard and been in business for 28 years. And we're in awe in having this award.
Great. Kim, how do you feel about the success of the facility so far?
Oh my gosh, it's been so exciting. We opened about 8 months ago, and it has just been going wonderful. Super busy, a lot of new customers, a lot of new faces. It's just been really exciting.
And the handsome young man, I got to believe, are you working there, or are you?
Yes, I work.
Do you just eat there?
I do a little bit of both. No, I do work there.
That's what I like. Now we're talking.
The ropes
You got to earn your keep at house, don't you?
He's a third generation learning the ropes.
Do you cook? Do you cook while you're there too?
I cook and I do front and back house. So
It's like magic. She just pops in.
I do.
So, as you can see, it's a pretty big event here, not only for Shelby Township, but the winners. We have Melanie Davis in here. Tell us a little bit about how this all came about and the work you did with Shelby Township to get this kind of going.
Sure. Well, last year we had our first annual Shelby Township Business Awards, and we sat down with Township Supervisor Rick Stathakis and said, we think it would be a great idea to showcase some of the great corporate citizens that we have here in Shelby Township, and he agreed. And we, kind of came up with some categories, including advanced manufacturing and hospitality, some of the big things that are important to Shelby Township and Macomb County. And we chose some winners, and this year we kind of came back and said, let's do it again. It was a huge success, and thanks to ShelbyTV, I think the production was kicked up a notch, and it was just a really professional program. I think everybody had a great time.
Well, great people were honored today, some
Absolutely.
great businesses.
Yes.
What are your thoughts so far on the day?
I thought it was a really good event. It's like everything we do. It was a team project. ShelbyTV did a great job. Melanie came in with a wonderful idea. Mark Hackle said, yeah, we'll help you out. He was here. And we just got cooperation from everybody, the Board of Trustees, department heads. But, the high point, obviously, is when we gave the awards out. And what makes Shelby Township absolutely number one, the residents, always number one. But, boy, businesses are a close second because, without them, we would have a lot less tax revenue and there wouldn't be as many jobs, if any. So I think today was a great opportunity for them to shine and for us to show appreciation to the business community.
And you look how many were shocked by it. I mean, you stop and think about it. Whether it's Francescos, just a family-owned restaurant for many, many years. They're growing, and how humbled they were by the award. Really, they're just out there doing their job, kind of a part of the community, and then to be recognized, by Shelby Township to say, you're the business award that we're going to give for the restaurant. And then even big companies like KUKA. I mean, how excited they were to get this award, and how proud. Amazon, I mean, one of the largest companies, that's a global company, and yet they're here accepting an award because they're excited about it. So it's important, I think, for the reasons that, it gives them that sense of pride in what it is they're doing, and knowing that, people do recognize their work aside from just the people that are working inside those facilities.
Absolutely.
Well, and Rick, you mentioned cooperation in this, not only on the township level, the county level, but the state level. Things had to get done just to get, things remodeled here in Shelby Township, and to take care of the old site and bring in Amazon was a huge undertaking. And like you said in the video we're going to show pretty soon, not one entity could have done it alone. You guys work together.
Well, we'll pretty much take anything that Mark Hackle and his team throw at us, and we were very happy when you came to us to say, what do you think about Amazon? We didn't have to think very long. And I know you did a lot of the lifting before you came to us, but they were really a great group to work with. But I'm saying that, and I'll say it again, without the cooperation of the county, of the state, and all the township employees, we wouldn't have gotten it. It's just a team effort. And, also I can't say enough about the Regional Chamber of Commerce, Sterling Heights Regional Chamber of Commerce. It's not just about the big businesses, it's about all the businesses in Shelby Township. And they do such a good job giving attention every single week to a new business opening up somewhere in Shelby Township or maybe south of us. And there's nothing more important than that, not only to them, but to us. The little businesses are the ones that really make America go. Yep. And that's one thing I love about what you guys do. You don't lose focus of that.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate your support at all of those ribbon cuttings. And small business really is the backbone of our community, isn't it?
And as you can see, I've been enjoying the free donuts. And
Listen,
by the way, this can't go on too much longer. My stomach, I can't hold it in much longer.
I got a little bit of room here. I'm waiting for that lunch over at Francescos.
Oh,
Are you kidding
there
me,
you go.
man? Award winner for the right reasons.
That's right. Yeah, I've got him. A church wanted to use his name to raffle it off. So it was going to be me, and then I put his name instead, and it just tripled in value. So now we got to take him out to lunch with whoever bids. Looking forward
I'm
to
excited. I can't wait for it. That's the reason why I did that.
Thank you very much.
It's interesting, Art, when you talked about that, you talk about the connectivity and what really gives people that emphasis, say, you know what, I want to have a business there or whatever, is breaking down the barriers. Everybody talks about bureaucracy in various departments, you know, whether it's a road department, whether it's a planning department, whoever that might be, a fire department when it comes to, you know, talking about the issues with the fire marshal, what goes on in the company. And we're breaking down those barriers because really, it's not those department heads or the people that are running it that are the barriers. It's those of us that put policies in place. And so what I've seen with Shelby Township is they're willing to say, hang on a second, you know, these policies are here, but we're the ones that made these policies. How do we adjust? How do we adjust, accommodate so that it isn't something that violates some kind of a state or federal law, and yet still allows for the community to have, you know, something in their backyard that, you know, might need a little bit of adjusting. So the willingness to say, you know what, our plans or our policies are flexible. And we can adjust them depending on the business need. Who's looking to come here? And Shelby's been great at that. And us from the county, boy, I'll tell you what, that's the first thing we say. Isn't so much no or, you know, why we can't do it. It's how do we get this done? How do we make it happen? And we're seeing more of that. And the partnership with Shelby's just been fantastic.
Well, as you mentioned, it's a lot of places you run into red tape.
Right.
It seems like with the relationship we have here together, it's red tape you can kind of move and stick back down later.
We're the ones that colored the tape, and so the question becomes, you know, how do we adjust that? You know, how do we you know, pink it up a little bit? You know, and if we have to, making sure it doesn't violate some kind of law or standard.
Yeah,
So.
and to his point, what he just said, it's not always peaches and cream. You know, we do have to confront some tough situations, whether it's Amazon or whoever's moving in the community. So, you know, we do get in some situations where, you know, there's some give and there's some pull. But in the end, working it out is what we want to do. And like Mark said, it's in everybody's interest. Benjamin Franklin said, "Without continual growth and progress, such words as improvement, achievement, and success have no meaning." Those words, improvement, achievement, and success, have significant meaning in Shelby Township, especially in 2017. Last year, Shelby Township welcomed 115 new businesses, ranging from the township's second Kroger marketplace to smaller operations like Lettuce, a quick-serve cafe. But these successes are only the tip of the iceberg. The township experienced growth in residential, commercial, and industrial development. In residential, the township approved 164 permits for new single-family homes and 37 multifamily units, which means almost $700,000 in revenue for the township through permit fees alone. More importantly, though, the success allows more residents to come and enjoy life and build a family in Shelby Township. In the commercial sector, we saw new developments take shape at 26 Mile and Van Dyke with anchors like Kroger, Five Below, TJ Maxx, Ulta Beauty, and Petco. In addition to the large franchises, the township also saw renewed development on the Van Dyke corridor and its downtown development authority, with almost 50 new businesses open on and around Van Dyke Avenue. In the industrial sector, Grupo Antolin opened the Antolin Shelby operation at 24 Mile and Shelby Parkway. The initial phase created 430 new jobs at a $61 million, 350,000 square foot facility. And I am proud to pass along that Antolin Shelby recently announced more investment, another $1.6 million in the facility, adding another 230 jobs. Now, with a total of 660 jobs, Antolin Shelby is the township's largest employer. However, with more news in 2017, means Antolin Shelby won't hold that title for long.
Amazon announced it's building a fulfillment center, and it will be right here in our township.
In August, Amazon announced its $70 million, 1 million square foot distribution center at the site of the former Ford Visteon plant. This facility will be operating by the end of the year and will employ 1,100 new workers in the township, making it our top employer. In all, in 2017, new industrial growth accounts for 2,400 new jobs, 1.7 million square feet of facility, and investments of more than $153 million in the township. So, to paraphrase Mr. Benjamin Franklin, because of the continual growth and progress in Shelby Township throughout 2017, the opportunities for community and his residents to improve, achieve, and succeed have grown exponentially. And in our words, that makes Shelby Township a better place to live, learn, play, and do business.
Well, guys, as you see, 2017 was a heck of a year for Shelby Township. Tell me a little bit about your feelings.
Well, I think when you look at the business aspect, obviously corporations moving into town, new housing, I think when you put it all together, there's a lot going on in Shelby Township. Finance is always a cornerstone of every community, as you always say, and I totally agree with that. Public safety, our 2 new fire stations, infrastructure going up, but also the quality of life. And why are we able to build on all 3 of these? Because we've got the businesses and we've got the residents, always residents number 1. But as I said before, it's just nice seeing all these businesses wanting to come into Shelby Township because we really are a better place to live, a better place to play, and just a better place for family life. And it's so nice that we still have that edge on other communities. And of course, according to niche.com, we are the number 1 community in Macomb, and we're very proud of that. Yeah.
And that works for Macomb, right?
And listen, I'm telling you, that Pure Michigan commercial's got nothing on what you just did. I mean, Tim Allen ain't got nothing on the voiceover, Rick. That was
I'm not
sweet.
trying to
That
compete.
was sweet.
They just couldn't find anybody else to do it.
I bet
so
it was
they-
one take, baby. I'm telling you, right straight through, smooth read over. That was awesome. You did a good job. But I got to believe it was a little difficult, probably because of all the businesses and companies that are here. Making those selections each year, that's probably got to be a little bit tough to try to figure out which one do you want to pick and I guess highlight for that year.
It really was. But when you start talking about redevelopment, how can you not pick Amazon? So that was kind of easy. And then when you talk about, all the corporations that have moved into, or the industrial corporations on Shelby Parkway, how can you not pick KUKA? They were the first ones here. They're kind of the anchor that started all this about 10 years ago. So that was kind of an easy pick. But no, you're right. We could have gone on and on and on. And in Francescos, the best restaurant, one of the best restaurants in Shelby Township. How could we not pick them?
Yeah.
But it was
Still
rough.
tough.
There
Yeah.
were some other people,
Yeah.
but we'll have no problems with other options next year.
Yep.
No problem at all.
Yeah, love those winners.
Cool. Well, let's take a look at the winners. We got some videos to show you, so go ahead and roll them and enjoy.
KUKA is a German-based, robotic-based automation company. So our headquarters is in Germany. Our North American headquarters is here in Shelby Township for the robotics group, but we also have multiple locations in the area. We have several others in Macomb County, as well as locations in Saginaw and Fenton. I think what separates KUKA is a couple of things, primarily our global footprint. We really try to trade best practices around the world. We can provide solutions all over the world and replicate them around the world between our different divisions and our different entities around the world, and also the breadth of our offering. So we provide automation solutions to all sorts of industries, from automotive to food and beverage to logistics, healthcare, and even entertainment. The jobs will change in the future, so when you talk about automation taking away jobs, it doesn't take away jobs necessarily. In fact, many more jobs are created as a result of automation, but the jobs may change. So for example, the factory worker that may lose his job to a robot on an assembly line could get a job repairing that robot or programming it or maintaining it. And what we really think is that we're helping companies to be more competitive so they can stay alive. You saw back in the 80s, 90s, and even as recent as 2008, 2009, many factories were closing because they were losing jobs to overseas companies. What we can do here now is help those companies remain competitive by automating and save those jobs and even bring them back. There's a lot of reshoring going on as a result of being able to be competitive through automation in this country. Our KUKA College is our training center for our customers primarily. I think it's one of the things that's unique about our college versus some of the other companies is it's the same all over the world. So we have a standardized curriculum that's taught all over the world. We have standardized training cells, and we have we have to have our trainers certified globally at our headquarters in Germany. Dealing with Shelby Township has been great. I mean, this is a corridor here where a lot of companies have moved in recently, We were looking for a new facility moving out of an older one down the road a ways. And so what we did is we took this building, which was basically 4 walls and a dirt floor, and we were able to build it custom for exactly what we wanted. Yeah, I think it was a great honor to win the Advanced Manufacturing Award. Obviously, we're in advanced manufacturing every day, but to get recognized for it was a little bit special. It was sort of a surprise, but an honor, and it does boost morale of the people here.
Team Rehab as a company really is always keeping the patient first. We're always looking for ways to improve, how we can better care for our patients.
What it does, it really fosters and encourages us to grow and challenges us professionally to grow. It's an environment where we have the tools and we have the support staff to grow. And so this really helps enable us to provide better care for our patients.
The Metro Detroit area, we have just over 50 clinics. Depending on each patient, everything's a very individualized treatment programs.
So we see anybody from neck and back pain, which are 2 of the more common things that we see, to our gait and balance patients. Some of the more common patients that we see, or maybe the less common patients that people don't really think about PT as much, is maybe some of the chronic pain patients who have been in pain for so long. That's someone that we can really make a difference with and help out. It could be something as little as improving function from transitioning from sit to stand or regaining mobility again. These are all things that we can help assist with and get back to.
People are in pain, they don't feel well, so we really try to make them comfortable in this environment. Sometimes patients don't have any other contact during the day. When somebody comes into my clinic, it's their home. I want them to feel comfortable as if I had a guest in my home.
We have some of the best clinicians and professors from across the U.S. and across the world that come in to do classes for our company. And so this really helps us educate ourselves better as clinicians, and it allows us to become more specialized in different treatments. As a healthcare profession, we're trying to move away from is the whole epidemic with opioids, and it's being overutilized. So that's another avenue where we can come in and be as some assistance for that. And it's something that these patients, they want to get back to these things, and maybe they don't realize that some of these services are available to them. So it's part of our job to help educate not only the patient, but the physician and the community about things that we can do to help with that.
It's kind of cool, I've grown up in this area, lived here for, I think over 20 years, and it's awesome to, be recognized by Shelby Township for, this award, and I'm just happy that I can use the skills and my talent to, help the people of Shelby Township.
We have a wide variety of houses there. The prices range anywhere from $480,000, the high $400,000s to the high $500,000s. We're trying to stay below the $600,000 barrier there. We got split levels, ranches, colonials there, granite countertops, ceramic tile. The location is a plus for the development. Got all the shopping up and down Van Dyke. Restaurants, you've got the bigger stores along the 26-mile road and Van Dyke corridor. proximity to the Van Dyke Freeway. You can take Jewel Road down to 23 Mile Road to access the freeway, or you can take Jewel Road back to, or take Van Dyke up to 26 Mile Road to get onto Van Dyke Freeway. So the location is a benefit for the subdivision. It's right near everything. It's got a decent tax base for the value of the homes, a lot of parks, probably the premier school district in Utica schools, shopping, police department. The township basically has everything that a resident would be looking for. The home sites are unique. They're large home sites. Most of the home sites there is what a builder would consider a premium lot. They're all deep. The lots average probably 180 foot in depth there. We've got wooded lots. We've got pond view lots that front up to, we've got our basin there, and we've got a natural pond there. It's a diverse mix of lots there. Shelby Township there's help all the way through, from conception to the final inspection on the home. The planning department is fantastic to deal with. The engineering department is great to deal with. The DPW is great to deal with, all the way to the building department. For us, we build in several communities, and Shelby's right up there near the top as far as us wanting to do work in Shelby. It's a friendly community, and everybody's professional and good to work with. Pretty proud of it. When I got the phone call, I've never received an award like that before, and I know the other developments and the other developers that are out there in Shelby Township, so we're pretty proud of it.
Mio nome è Francesco Balcastro e questa è mia moglie Assunta Balcastro. When I come to this country, I was 17 years old, and I work downtown, and I work with my boss all the time. What do you put on the spaghetti? What do you make a sauce? What do you make the chicken? I watch him, whatever he done, and I learned. My son, he told me, Daddy, I read the paper and I find a place to maybe go buy it. Come and see us, come and see the place. So I went over there, I look around, and I like it. So I told my wife, I think we're gonna buy the place.
Started off 28 years ago, across the street, right across Van Dyke. My grandfather, Francesco, and my dad originally bought a single unit from Luciano's.
My wife make the tiramisu, started working hard. She was in a bar, serve with the people wine or something like that. And I was cooking.
Sometimes my nono didn't even really use a measuring cup. He kind of just knew, you know? He would taste it, keep going, all right, I need more of this, a little more garlic, you know, more oil.
In the meantime, I go to the people and talk, how's my food? Did I make it good? Everybody make me happy. They say, Franco, you're the best. Franco, you're gonna make it. And I was very happy about it.
It started off as I don't know, maybe 10, 12 tables, and now we have 4 dining rooms at the new place. So it's been an evolution of just the recipes and everything, just tweaking meat sauce, bringing in the cannolis, homemade tiramisu. Even to this day, we're tweaking our recipe. I mean, it still has the same foundation that it kind of did as when we started. But I mean, once in a while, we'll play around with the salt, we'll play around with the sugar. You know, we're always playing around, we're getting feedback from customers. So there's a couple of secrets we can tell you about, but can't tell them all.
If it was not for my wife, I never make it. My wife was not just wife, friends, beautiful. Because we make it, me and my wife make us see what we got now. But we suffer a little bit, we suffer too. But it's hard work we did. But thank the Lord, what we are now, it's gonna be third generation. My grandson is gonna take over.
We're happy to be part of this community. I think Shelby Township has definitely been very good to us. Hospitality is like one of our main goals here, not just food quality, but hospitality is definitely very important, so we're honored.
Oh, I'm so happy about it. I'm very happy about it. Me and my wife, we talk about it every day then. I like we are, and the people love so much us. That's beautiful. That's very happy about it.
We try to create a win-win scenario when we attract projects to a community. First, it has to fit the community. It has to be something that the community supports. If there's no community support, then the state can't really help that project come through. So we have to look at the region and see what the region's assets are, what their strengths are, and with this being a logistical center, that's really what Amazon was looking for. So it's a win-win. You're taking a site that had deep contamination, removing that, transforming it into 1 million square feet of new investment, and it's really creating additional tax value in the future. Diversification is key. When you take a industry that fluctuates, you try to bring in complementary industries to help offset some of those fluctuations. So having a project like Amazon in the region is really beneficial to any of those potential fluctuations. And having them as a community partner is key as well. So you're bringing in not only them as a client, but you're also bringing in a lot of stability and future growth potential. With a project like Amazon, it really is a catalytic project. It will hopefully draw in new economic opportunities with other projects coming around it, but at the same time, it's really those jobs that it creates. It creates jobs for the contractors, those residual jobs around the site, but also those community members that will be employed at the site, and hopefully buying homes and sending their kids to school and all those kind of carry-on effects. So it really is a catalytic project, and it's great for the community. Yeah, so 1 million square feet is a large undertaking for any business. Amazon's been successful in planning these across the country, but each site has its own difficulties. And we were really lucky to have a community like Shelby Township in Macomb County and all the partners that surround this project come to the table all at once and say, we're here to support this, and we can go through those logistical challenges, being at roads or utilities or the site cleanup. All those things really needed to come together at the same time to be successful. So it takes a community in economic development to really make a project be successful. And for us, for that 1 million square feet, which comes out to be about 23 acres under roof, it's just a really big undertaking. It can't just be done by a state agency or a local community. It's really that partnership and bringing all those partners together. So it's been a success working with the planning department and the supervisor's office up to the county executives team that they've amassed. It's a really professional environment that is really pro-business and really business friendly and really understands what it takes to get the job done. Yeah, this Amazon project is really massive. You're looking at, 17.5 football fields under one roof, 1 million square feet. It doesn't happen every day. So the state was really excited to partner with Amazon and Shelby Township and Macomb County on the project. But again, it's really driven locally, so it had to fit in with the community's needs. And up north, we're looking at a lot more tourism, and the rural areas is more agricultural. But in Southeast Michigan, we really see a lot of logistics and automotive and these larger investments. So it was very exciting for the state to work on. It's a very impactful project, and we're hoping to see these thousands of jobs, create carry-on effects as well within the region.
Wow, just looking at that, as I mentioned before, it probably was difficult making a selection, but I guess I now see why you selected those companies. Great companies, good choices.
They're wonderful companies, and each one of these companies make a huge contribution, not only in terms of tax money they pay, but just being here, providing jobs. Just on Shelby Parkway alone, I think we were up to about 1,500 jobs. 1,500 jobs that we didn't have 8 years ago. So it's all good. It's all good for the local economy, and it's new wealth coming into Shelby Township from really all over the world, which is a nice thing.
And in that video, you could see the emotions of those people. I mean, obviously, Dominic's dad, I mean, sitting there talking about how he started off, you know, down in Detroit with, making the stuff that he did by hand without actually using, the cup to measure it with.
Kind of
it's
brought
like
a tear to the eye.
It did. It was very emotional. So, I mean,
Yeah.
they too were very honored by, obviously, these awards. So, great job, great show.
Yeah.
Well, we got a chance to talk to one of the winners over at Team Rehab, and let's see what they had to say about being a 2018 award winner. Tell me a little bit about what it was like to be recognized for your work here in Shelby Township, winning this award.
We are so proud to win this award. It was really shocking because we just do our business because we love it. And in loving it, I think patients can sense that and sense how much passion we have for treating them. And they tell their friends and family about it. And from that, we've had exponential growth in Shelby Township. That spurred us having to have more clinics in the area so that we weren't so overcrowded in our first 2 clinics. So we have Shelby 3 and 4 as well. So we have 4 clinics.
Well, not only have you guys won this award, but you also won an award for Best Place to Work, I think, from the Free Press. How did that happen?
Within Team Rehab, they take care of their employees, so all the employees are happy. They know that all the employees are going to work harder when they give you what you need in order to do your job. So, the employees want something, the company's going to go ahead and try to make it happen for you. So making their employees happy is how we got it.
When you see a patient 2 or 3 times a week, you become pretty close with them. So you build a rapport and a relationship, and that keeps you coming back to work, is knowing, oh, I gotta see how Gertrude did over the weekend. We are really invested in that patient and knowing they did okay at home and everything was going well with their exercises, and it's the patients that bring us back every day.
Now, I understand, is there 4 clinics in Shelby Township?
Yes, there are.
Can we expect more?
I don't know if you can do more than that. You can tell just when you're driving down the road how many Team Rehabs are represented around this area. Right now, we're just trying to invest in those 4 clinics. So we have a little bit of room at Shelby 2 and a little bit of room at Shelby 3 to expand some more and get more clinicians in there, so more therapists, so we can actually get more volume in the clinics.
That was touching, but this is pretty touching too. To Kelly and Nick. I think they're behind the scenes right now. Apparently this was a special set for
No
them.
worries there.
That ain't happening. Did you see these things?
Whoa.
There are a couple other ones that we didn't have choices of last time. Look at that red one.
Wow, man.
I mean, these got M&Ms in the middle of it.
I accidentally touched this one.
Well, there goes my diet one more time.
I'm going to accidentally touch about 4 or 5 of them. Get that out of here, man. Are you kidding me? Holy cow. I'm going with the red one this time. The chocolatey ones look good too. Oh, we're on air.
Well, folks,
Again.
we want to thank you for watching, putting up with us, and we hope you enjoyed the show. For Mark Hackle, Rick Stathakis, I'm Arthur Schenk, and you've been watching On Location. Anything you guys would like to add before that?
And thank you very much. And Mark, I want to thank you for one more time coming by and always being here for Shelby Township. We really appreciate your help. Thank you very much.
And a shout out on behalf of the companies that are here talking about KUKA, whether it's Paz and Grupo Antolin or whatever. They're doing a great job. But parents that are sitting there thinking about jobs, opportunities for their kids, they're looking for good quality kids, good high-paying jobs. I tell you what, take a look at some of these companies, great companies to work for, and glad that they were hosts of this event here at KUKA.
Thank you, sir.
Gentlemen, thank
you, everybody.
On Location, we're on the internet too.
Okay. Thanks.
Good, man.